All right, welcome to the long run. I'm Joel.
And I'm Christy.
And what are we doing today?
It is time to pick up with part 3 of our 50 Frugal Living Tips video series or live stream series. We got this from a. Sorry. I had it silenced, but the video was playing anyway. Okay. Anyway, it is a live stream series that we've been doing, and we got this article from making sense of sense.com. We have them linked down in the description. We aren't getting into all the details that they listed, so if you would like more tips than what you're hearing from us, be sure to check out that article. That has tons of links to other blogs and things like that, so they have more information than what we get into in these videos. But we're basically just sharing with you what we think of these tips, if there are things that we do, if we have something we might could add to them or detract. And we would love the same thing from anyone who's watching both in the live or in the replay. If you have more that you can add, or you just want to comment on one of the tips, be sure to do that. We would love to hear your opinions and thoughts as well. All right. And to go ahead and say, hello, Leisure. Thank you. You were there before we were there. We were making our coffee so that we'd have coffee before we got started. And I was right up to the minute getting mine done.
Yep.
Okay. Whoops. I thought I hit.
There you go.
Good morning. How are you doing? All right. Okay. So if you remember, we said we were going to end last month with frugal tip number 20, and that would mean that we were going to start frugal tip 21 with something that we particularly emphasize on our channel. It's good. I'm so glad. Something that we particularly focus on our channel, so you're not going to be surprised at all to know that frugal 21 tip 21 is frugal tips for the grocery store. Yep. We do a lot of videos on saving money at the grocery store. We have a lot of tips there, and so we're interested in seeing what tips they specifically have listed under this, and see if we have some things that we might could add to it. We recently did that. It was just Monday, a video that we uploaded where we price compared from last year to this year, and in there we threw in some tips for how to keep the grocery budget down. And so we'll link that in the description if I remember. If I don't, just say it in the comments, say you forgot again. Yep. And tell me what I forgot. Okay. Because I do that, especially on live streams. I might say something in a live stream that, oh, I'll link that after, and then I totally forget that I said I was going to do that. So, all right. So here we begin with their frugal tips. The first one is meal planning. Yep. Definitely. We meal plan. Currently, we do 1 month meal plans because we found what that did for us doing the 1 month meal plans was made it so that the other 3 weeks of the month, I don't have to create a new meal plan for the next week. So it gives me a little time back. That if I was only meal planning every week I have to meal plan more. Hey, Tuber Chat, good to see you. So meal planning, yes, absolutely. You want to make sure that you know what you already have in your house and make meal plans, creating what you already have, and then after you and then you basically fill in the gaps that are missing there after you finish. So yes, Thank you. We really appreciate that. Let's see. So I don't know what use this
It's
cell phone.
Ibotta. It's Ibotta.
Oh, you clicked on it?
Well,
Okay.
no, I can see it down here in the right down there. It gives you a highlight.
Oh, okay. All right. So their next tip was to use the Ibotta rebate app to save money on your groceries, to get cash back, actually. And we do that. And it is actually our favorite. A lot of people really love Fetch, and Fetch is good, but we find that we get the most back from Ibotta.
Mm-hmm.
But Fetch doesn't, you don't have to do really any work. You just scan the receipts. If you want to, you can focus on some, combo things that might get you back a little bit of a higher rebate. But to us, the Ibotta one is not that complicated. You can literally scan products in the store and it'll tell you if there's any rebate that matches that. So you don't really have to do any work ahead of time. And then as soon as you leave the store, you can scan a receipt and you're done. And if it's at Walmart, you don't even have to scan the receipt. You could link, if you have a Walmart account, you could link it and then just make sure that you pay for your groceries with your Walmart app. That way it automatically is synced to Ibotta and it immediately gives you your rebates. The only reason we don't use that is because we seldom pay with our Walmart app. We almost never do that. So, and then on top of that, occasionally when we used to do that, and that was when they first introduced the technology, sometimes they would miss stuff and there wasn't a way to say, hey, but if you scan the receipt physically, then you're able to say you missed something. So, yeah, the Ibotta rebate app, we usually get $60, $70 back in cash back every year. And we don't even really push the envelope of things that you could use it for, because we intentionally do not buy things just to get money back. But,
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, shop with a grocery list. We do that, and not only shop with a list, but stick to the list.
Yeah.
It does you no good if you have a grocery list if you don't stick to it.
Yes.
So there's very seldom do we go off the list for anything.
Right.
And so we're pretty strict about what we put on there, and then when we go shopping, about marking everything off and not adding anything as once we get in there. So
yes.
Yep.
The dollar amount, I missed it. Do you know? Was that about the Ibotta app? It must have been. Let us know. Thanks, Leisure. Yeah, the grocery list, and like he said, make sure you stick to the list, because if you don't,
rebate.
The rebate. Okay. Yes. Okay. Our pleasure. Like it. Yeah. It really is a good app. We like it. Okay. And their next tip is to look for things above or below eye level. Eye level is called the buy level for a reason. As far as I know, we don't actually shop that way. But I know that's a very popular tip. But what I mean is we don't just say, well, if I buy it from up here or down here, then it's going to be a better price. We just look and try to determine the best price, no matter what the product is. We look at the unit cost, and we also don't assume that the unit cost is correct. We make sure that we're, and it might be because I'm short, I'm already on the lower level. I'm only 5 feet tall. Yeah, like I said, we don't necessarily assume that something is a better value just because it was up or down. We just make sure that we are looking at all the products underneath it. So, yeah, short girl props. But if you're like an average height, then maybe you do see cheaper at the top and bottom. I don't know. Like, like we buy a lot of generics, and maybe there are higher level. I don't know, but like I don't really like my eye looks toward the generics, or it looks toward the but we still look at all the brand names because sometimes the brand names are cheaper. So
Yep.
I don't know that we necessarily just look at above and below or whatever, just to, because it might be that after a certain amount of time, um, the stores have figured out that you're looking at the below, up and the above and below. So
Right.
you never know. All right. You do that?
Pay attention to per unit costs. We do that. We call it doing the math. And make sure you're comparing apples to apples, like per unit cost to unit cost. If it's ounces to ounces or per each to per each, make sure that, because they'll trip you up on some of those. They'll do 1 per ounce, and then the next one right beside it they'll do per each, and it'll kind of trip you up into maybe buying the more expensive item. So make sure you're doing the math, and make sure you're doing it comparing like items to like items.
We can give you a quick couple of examples. We mostly talk about groceries here, like food items, not household goods. But here's an example: detergent tabs. There will be one of the containers of detergent tabs will have per ounce. Doesn't make sense to me because you're not going to throw the detergent tabs in per ounce because it's a tab. You're probably not going to cut it open and say I'm only using half the ounces or whatever. But there will be one right there that says per ounce, and it'll be right beside one that says per each, in other words, per tab. So it can literally make it look like one is a better deal than the other, and they're not even using the same math with you. And that, like, we'll see that with Pop-Tarts. Like whatever kind of brand. I'm not necessarily saying one specific brand, but it'll have per ounce, as if anyone eats Pop-Tarts by the ounce, right beside per Pop-Tart. So I don't know why they do it. Obviously, that could be to confuse you.
Yep.
Done. Not making any judgments or calling anyone out, just telling the fact is that if you look at the unit cost really carefully, you'll see that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, mostly when they go on sale. Great that you brought that up, because that kind of ties into our next point, is to see if there are any sales for the items that you're already buying. Yeah, go ahead and look and see if the things that you're buying is already on sale. Then that's going to save you a little money. Don't buy something that you don't need for that week or that month just because it's on sale, because you may not use it. Just make sure you're using those things for the sale items that you're actually going to use that week.
Yeah, we'll give you a couple of examples there. One would be like I hear I think Dawn from Sensible Living with Money Mom and Jan from Save Money and More with Jan. They will both point out, don't buy something that your family doesn't eat just because it's on sale. So that's one thing. Like, if you know that your family they're not really peanut butter and jelly sandwich kind of people, buying peanut butter just because it's on sale is going to end up being wasted. So don't do that. Don't buy it just because. Also, don't buy it if it's really not a good deal. Like we've shown that, like we did a Publix versus Walmart haul, where most of the stuff at Publix that was on sale that week was a pretty good deal, but strawberries was not. And it was still, even though it was on sale at Publix, Walmart's regular strawberry price was cheaper than Publix. So don't assume just because something's on sale that it has to be a better price. And then also ask yourself, like, for us, we saw a lot of the stuff that was a good deal at Publix was like canned foods or things that we don't typically buy anyway. So even if it had been a good price, why would we buy that? That's not something we normally eat.
Yep.
So, for instance, like canned chunky soups or something like that. Like we don't typically have soups in the house because we just make it from scratch and we can always freeze it. So we don't tend to buy canned soup. So why would we spend extra on canned soup that's not really a good deal anyway, just because it was on sale is not really saving us anything because we don't normally buy it.
Yep.
So that's just a couple of things to think of when you think about whether or not something's on sale.
Yep.
Make sure it's a good value for you. All right, and tying into that a little bit is use coupons when grocery shopping, and that's going to be the same thing. Be careful with coupons to make sure that you are using whatever it is that you're spending the money on, because you are not saving if you spend money just because there's a coupon attached to it.
Yep.
And for those same reasons as what we were talking about with the sale deals, if you're not going to use it, if it's not something that you normally buy, yeah. We used to like see those coupons that was like, oh, if you buy 3 things, you'll save $1, and it's like, but did I need to buy those 3 things? Am I going to use them? Do I have a plan for them? If not, then I probably that $1 didn't really save me anything because I wasted it.
Yep.
So be careful with coupons. But yeah, if you find a coupon for something that you already buy, use it.
That's right. Buy in bulk for ingredients that you know you're going to use. We do that with like spices, because we use a lot of spices. We make seasoning blends out of our spices, so we're going to use those. We do rice that way. With rice, we buy a big bag of rice because we use a lot of rice in most of our dishes. A few other things. We buy chicken in bulk and meat, hamburger meat in bulk, and things like that.
Now, I want to say a caveat to this that is not being pointed out in this statement is it says, well, actually, it does say it, buy in bulk for ingredients that you know you will use.
Yep.
Yes, but as a caveat to that is don't assume that a bulk purchase is a better deal than buying in the smaller packages and stuff like that. You should still do the math on those unit costs and make sure that they're good deal, because in the midst of bulk items is also things that is really not that great a deal. Like you can mess up really quick in a place like Sam's Club or Costco by assuming that everything there has to be a better price than somewhere like Aldi or even Walmart. Like it's not always the case that it's the best deal. And so a word of caution is to continue doing the math and making sure before you assume anything.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Grocery shop when you're full. That's like the oldest tip, but it's true. If you're hungry, you are more likely to pick things that you didn't wasn't the best value, or maybe you didn't even need it, but like you were just hungry. Yeah. Yeah, we don't get to shop at Costco because like we have Sam's Club here. But I've heard that while some of their bulk stuff is good, some of their things that aren't a good price are like way up there. So like even like it's called Sam's Club but fancier. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So yeah, don't shop when you're full, because if you're hungry, you're more likely to pick the wrong thing.
Yep.
So
skip the pre-made and pre-cut items. We do that. We opt not to buy the shredded cheeses. We buy the block cheeses and we shred it ourselves. Number one, because it's a little cheaper that way, and then number two, you have caking agents that they put in there to keep it from sticking together. So you have some definitely more things than you would if you shredded it yourself.
For Christmas, I had before Christmas of last year, I had on my wish list, like we had like the traditional grater, and so we'd have to stand there, our muscles were getting a little bit of a workout, but anyway, but I had on the list like one of those rotary kind that you just turn the handle, and our son and daughter-in-law got me that for Christmas, and it takes like this long to shred cheese, so it's not worth it to pay them to do the job for me if I can do it that fast. Yeah. So that's just an example. Also, pre-cut fruits and things like that, and freezer meals are going to be at a higher cost, most likely, than anything that you could do at home. And you can double batch a portion of food and put some in the freezer so that you don't have to rely on frozen dinners. Packaged meals that are like boxed meals or canned meals or something. Apparently Joel has a phone call. His job, he's on call, so he has to go answer that. Anyway, packaged, canned, pre-cut anything, they are more than likely going to cost you more than just doing the work yourself. So if you can, when you make a meal, double batch your portion and like divide them up into either single servings or whatever, then you will more than likely save money and in the long run than if you buy those prepackaged things. And you're also saving yourself some iffy ingredients that are sometimes in the canned, pre-packaged, pre-made, pre-frozen meals like that. So someone said on our video from Monday, they said that a frozen dinner thing that used to be $10 is now, I think they said $14. So it was a $4 increase in 1 year. And I didn't know how much frozen dinners had gone up because we don't buy them. We would rather just, do a double portion or intently, like sometimes we'll just intently cook some things and put them, not cook them, but like just do freezer bagged meals and put them in the freezer instead of relying on those prepackaged things. So, that's a good one. Another one is sign up for a grocery store loyalty cards. This, is a great way. We don't have a lot of those. Well, I think that Publix does have like a loyalty card, but like Aldi and Walmart don't. And we primarily shop there and at Sam's Club. Sam's Club will, if you do the scan and go, sometimes you get discounts on your purchases and stuff. So there's a little bit of a thing there, but overall, there's not like a lot of that here. But like we do have a Kroger that's a warehouse, so there's a loyalty card attached to that. But we know, like, we used to live in Houston and we would shop at Kroger regularly, and like we would click those little digital offers in the app. Is a really good way. I agree. And like I said, and it's also got questionable ingredients in a lot of them. So sauces that you don't need, sodium that's way higher than normal. Yeah, sugar probably on frozen dinner, but I always buy it at sale times. Yeah, it was an Amy's Organics frozen dinner that the person mentioned. So I'm sure because it was Amy's Organics, it was probably higher than a lot of frozen dinners. But and the person didn't acknowledge whether or not it was a family package or if it was an individual kind of one meal frozen dinner. So that may have something to do with it. Like, I'm sure, like, if you bought a frozen lasagna, that's like supposed to feed a whole family. It's more expensive. It may be in the $10 range. I'm not sure because, like I said, we just buy. Stouffer's 5 for $10. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think Amy's Organics is more expensive. You're paying for the word organic in that, and also Amy's is a well-known organics brand, so I'm sure they charge more than Stouffer's. Probably a bigger size. Probably. Yeah, like I said, it could have been a family size the person was talking about, but that's still a lot. And then, it is organic, so maybe it wouldn't have as many unsavory ingredients, but it could have still had a lot of salt or something in it. You never know. So, let's see. What else would we like to add to that? Thanks, Miss Deb. We really appreciate it. Good to see you. Let's see. What we typically do with ours is we start at Aldi, and our number one reason, and unfortunately, like Aldi is like a really popular store, and so we know that, like, in our grocery haul videos, we can actually see in our analytics that people watch through the Aldi part and then drop off, and it's really unfortunate because we show why we don't buy some things at Aldi, and that is intended to help people. But unfortunately, we started Aldi because of the very reason that we're going to tell you, and that is we can take the Walmart and Sam's Club apps and price compare while we're looking at the stuff at Aldi. Mm-hmm. And it's harder to find the prices at Aldi if you start at Walmart or Sam's Club. And the reason why is because Aldi's app is not like great. And then on top of that, the only other way to find it is if you do Instacart, and sometimes there's upcharges at Instacart that isn't in the store. Like it costs a little bit more than what they actually, if you actually walked into the store and purchased it. So it's harder to get a clear view of what the prices are at Aldi if you're looking it up online. So that's why we like to start at Aldi and then just look up the Walmart app and the Sam's Club app, because you can get the actual prices and not just the, what you would pay extra if you have it delivered. So that's why it's why we start there, is because we're trying to show that progression, that if you start at Aldi, then but really, it's at any of them. If you have a store that doesn't have a great app, and if you have to look at the delivery side of it, you may be seeing a slightly higher number. So that's why we show that. It doesn't matter if it's at Aldi or not. But so we do that, and one thing that we try to say it, but we don't always get to it, is we caution that you have to check and make sure that when you price compare one store to another, that you're looking at all the options. Because, like, if we looked at Aldi's block of cheese, that's 8 ounces. It's currently $1.75 for 8 ounces. But it's normally $1.99. And I can see on the Instacart app that it says that sale is going to end, it would be 5 days from now. So in 5 days, it's saying it's going to go back up to $1.99 for 8 ounces. But if we looked at Walmart and compared across 8 ounce to 8 ounces, then it's going to look like Aldi's cheese is cheaper than Walmart's. But if you buy a 1 pound or a 2 pound at Walmart, the price is lower. So per 8 ounces. So it means that sometimes you have to look at other size packages in other stores so that you can make sure that you're getting the best value. You don't want to just say 8 ounces here to 8 ounces there, unless you only need 8 ounces. But if you know, yeah, I can take 8 ounces and put that in the refrigerator, and I can put the rest of it in the freezer and then pull it out later when I need it. So I'm just going to go ahead and get 2 pounds. And you look at it and you realize, oh yeah, they are, it actually is cheaper per 8 ounces to get it at Walmart than it is Aldi. Then you've realized something that a lot of people don't. They look at 8 ounces to 8 ounces, and they look at, this bag of chips to that bag of chips, and they don't take into account the size of packages.
Mm-hmm.
So it does really help a lot if you make sure that you are not closing it off just to one size package.
Yep.
Yeah. So what else you got? Anything else in that category?
I think not. That's 31 minutes on one tip. So
well, there was more written under there than that. Anyway, again, y'all be sure, if you have a tip, be sure to throw that down in the comments or in the chat and let us know. But that's just I know that we have more. We have another video that's coming out on Monday that is going to be 10 things that we no longer buy at the grocery store that's saving us money. Yep. So be sure to watch that, because we didn't talk about it here really. Kind of a little bit, but not exactly.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. Do you want to go on to the next one?
Yeah, we can do a couple more.
Couple more.
These won't take long to get through, I don't think.
Frugal tip number 22
is refinance your student loans. If you have student loans, you can refinance those and maybe get a lower interest rate on them. Yeah.
We do not have student loans, so we don't know anything about that. For me, I went to college on a Pell Grant. For Joel, he went.
Yeah, I had scholarships and Pell Grants and stuff too.
The only student loan he ever had was right before he lost his job. He thought that this person was going to pay like a scholarship, like a personal scholarship for that semester of college, and the person did not pay it. And so they started, the college started sending him messages saying, we're going to have to, do a collections if you don't pay your tuition for that semester. And it was like, we didn't even know that the scholarship wasn't paid. Yep. So obviously we took care of it immediately, but like as fast as we could, we got rid of that. But that was, I guess you could say that was a little bit of a failure on our part, because maybe we shouldn't have assumed that somebody who said they were going to personally pay it was going to pay it and just not ever check to make sure.
Yep.
So I digress. That's as little as we know about student loans, thank goodness. Our one son went to college on what was that called? In Tennessee, what did he go to college on? Some kind of lottery scholarship, something like that. So he didn't have student loans, and our other son had a full tuition scholarship at a college in Tennessee, and he graduated off of that, and so he didn't have student loans. So we have thankfully had very little experience with student loans.
Yeah.
So.
All right. The next one is ride your bike more. If you live in a bikeable or walkable area, that may be something that you can do.
Yeah. We kind of live a little ways out, like 4 miles from his work. So riding his bike, at times might be fine for him to ride a bike for 4 miles, but it rains every afternoon here. So that would be also mean there would be times when he would be stuck at work until the rain passed by. So, you know.
Yeah. Yep.
But
Yeah.
We don't buy them, but he did go to college off of it.
That's right.
Only 2 years. That was for a community college. He was able to go on that scholarship. So, yeah, we haven't had to deal with the student loan world since because of that.
We might could either talk about this on the next one or just talk about it here and just refer them to the video we just did.
Yeah.
Or the video that's coming out. No,
we've already done
that video. So
yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Frugal tip number 24 is get cash back on your purchases. Now we just did a video on the apps that we use to save money. Talking about Rakuten and Swagbucks and Ibotta and all those things. So if you want to go check that out, we'll put it in the show notes below.
Yeah.
You can click that. You can click that and go watch that video. But you can use those. We use them mostly online. The ones we use them mostly online at Rakuten.
On the laptop.
Yeah, things like that. They automatically pop up when we go to a particular website. And then you choose the best deal.
You can do them as an app, or you can literally go, if you're using them on your computer, you can literally go to the websites like Rakuten and go and then enter in the search bar where you're wanting to shop, and it will reroute you to that website, and then it'll go ahead and add that cashback offer. But as you saw from Joel's video that he did about that, if you have them as browser extensions on your computer and you have them all there, then you just go ahead and search whatever you're looking to purchase online, and then they will fight over who's going to give you the best offer, and then you just click the one that has the best offer, and it's that simple. And it will reroute you back through it so that you get that best offer. So like some people will go to Rakuten first, but if you do that, then you're locking out the potential of Swagbucks, what's the other ones? Ibotta and Honey. Whatever other ones we said, you're locking out their potential, because if you go to that Rakuten website, is locking out their ability to pop up. So if you do it as the browser extensions, and then you see one pops up at 2% back, one pops up at 4% back, one pops up at 7% back, well, click the one that says 7%, because that one's giving you the best value back.
Yep. Well, let's go ahead and wrap it up.
Okay. Thanks, Miss Deb.
All right. So I think that's going to do it for today. We've got quite a few more we want to do. We'll save those until our next live stream, which probably won't be next month, because we're going on vacation next month, right? We didn't.
We might would be home before that.
Okay.
Because we usually do it the last of week.
Okay.
All right. We don't know. But
we'll let you know when it's going to be.
I'm going to say this for my future self when I can't remember where we left off in the live stream. We will be picking up with frugal tip number 26.
Actually, 25.
Oh, 25.
Meatless meals.
Frugal tip number 25. We got through 3.
All right.
Or 4.
All right. Well, that's going to do it today. Thank you guys for joining us today. We appreciate you. Appreciate you the support. If you haven't done it, give a big thumbs up, like, and share it out to anybody that you feel like might benefit from the content. We appreciate that very much. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here today on our live stream. But that's going to do it today. Don't forget to leave those comments. If you're watching on the replay, leave us some comments below about your frugal tips you'd like to share with us. We'd love to read those and have those part of our group as well.
Yeah.
But that's going to do it today for the long run. I'm Joel.
And I'm Christy.
Don't forget it's the long run. Give yourself a little grace.
Bye.